Alright, so this is going to be another movie review. This one's called Blacula 1972. This is going to be another blaxploitation AIP Samuel Z. Arkoff deal. Starring the king of cartoons. I liked it about the same as the sequel, but I haven't seen this sequel in so long, I forgot how there could be a sequel because it didn't look like there could be a sequel at the end. I don't want to spoil it, but in case, that shows you how good my memory is. I saw the sequel before I saw the original movie, which was a big blockbuster, low budget, rated PG horror flick. Exploitation movies kind of got the crossed subgenres there. And yeah. Sorry, this machine keeps beeping and the scanner doesn't work, so I guess it's telling me that something's wrong with it. I have no idea what's going on, but it just makes that noise every 5 minutes. So I worked over 12 hours on my first job, raking in the $31.50 an hour at roughly 12 and a half hours, more or less. Now I'm doing the 8-hour graveyard shift, no lunch break. So yeah, pulling off another 20 plus hour deal. I did get a chance to cook some New York steak for dinner, get into my valet parking garb, although I didn't get my winter stuff, the comfy hat and the scarf. It's not that cold tonight anyway. I think I can nod off for a few hours in the cold without freezing my face or anything. So I got $7 in tips today. I made about $300 earlier doing the overtime deal. I was supposed to be a transsexual who wanted to be a platonic friend, but her phone number wasn't working. It was some weird North Carolina phone number. And then I ended up working late anyway, so there's no way that I could come to San Francisco. It was a Lombard and Divisadero. Then there was a 25-year-old Asian transsexual who popped up on Happen. I thought she was a hooker, but turned out she was just a gold digger like Anna Nicole Smith, 25-year-old looking for a sugar daddy. I guess she wasn't too impressed with my profession. Sort of reminded me of the 18-year-old Vietnamese Chinese hooker from San Francisco who I told her my profession, and then she started dating other guys who promptly dumped her, which was kind of like karma's you-know-what. Anyways, it's probably a good thing that I'm not dating transsexuals, even though they're all over the dating website. I'd much rather have my own kids than adopt anyways, and I'm not so sure that I'm attracted to them in the first place, if you know what I mean. So there's that, and haven't had any luck on online dating or getting a hold of my so-called girlfriend who took off to Los Angeles. Never heard from her again. So, yeah, it's pretty bad. Anyways, getting back to the movie. So, Blacula, or the King of Cartoons, William Marshall. He's, I don't know why this thing keeps beeping every, like, 2 minutes. It's ridiculous. Anyways, he goes to Europe to Blacula. Before he becomes Blacula, his name is Mama Waldy or something. He's some kind of African prince. I don't know from which country, but he's from some kind of fierce tribe. And he's going to see Count Dracula to stop slavery. I'm not sure why Count Dracula has any control over the slavery trade. That part was unclear. Little plot hole there. But in any case, I admire Mama Waldy for trying to use peaceful means, diplomatic means to end the slavery trade, unlike Abraham Lincoln there. And like most other countries besides the United States, slavery was ended without war. So that's what Mama Waldy is trying to do. He doesn't succeed. Count Dracula curses him. Well, first he does some racial epithets. It's played by the same actor who was in the Big Red one. I'll put his name in the description box when I get done with this video. And so he curses Mama Waldy to the vampire curse, and he locks him up in the coffin like Barnabas Collins. So Mama Waldy is thirsting for blood, but he's locked in a coffin for a couple hundred years. And then a couple of gay interior design guys from LA go to Count Dracula's castle to buy a bunch of Count Dracula's antiques. The thing is worth a fortune. They bring Mama Waldy's coffin to LA, and they open up the coffin. Mama Waldy bites both of them. And it's a little different kind of vampire, I guess, because every single one of his victims becomes a vampire. Unlike Dark Shadows, where Willie Loomis is kind of like the slave of Barnabas. And another thing I noticed is that these vampires, they can be burned alive or half alive or burned living dead, I guess. I don't know. It's all very confusing. So the cop who's in Bucktown, he's a lot of recognizable faces. There's also Elijah Wood Jr. I think that's his name. The guy from The Killing. He's in a lot of movies. He's in this one. He plays a coroner. He's got the hook arm, but it's obvious that the hook is makes his one arm longer than the other, so it looks completely fake. And when Mama Waldy turns into bad, it looks like cheap Dark Shadow special effects. So Mama Waldy sees Tina. She looks like his former wife from 200 years ago, who was killed by Count Dracula, I guess. I don't know. That part was unclear. But Oh yeah, now I remember. Okay, she was locked in the tomb with Mama Waldy, and I guess she starved to death. That's how she died. Now I remember. Okay. So Mama Waldy's trying to hit on Tina because it's basically the same actor from 200 years ago. And yeah, so she falls for him, and her sister is married to some kind of Black Van Helsing dude. He's like a forensic scientist or something. I'm not real sure about that. So he has to deal with Whitey, the lieutenant. It's kind of so he digs up a grave. The vampire pops out of the coffin, and he sticks a stake through the vampire's heart in front of his girlfriend, who's also Tina's sister. God, thing's annoying. Anyways, then he then he goes to the morgue where that Elijah dude is hanging out. He tells before he goes there, he tells the Elijah dude to let the vampire out from the freezer. Another thing I learned is that they become incapacitated when they're in the cold. So there's a lot of new stuff in here about vampires that I didn't know. Little unusual movie, I guess you could say. Oh man, I'm tired. I think I'm gonna crash out after this video. But yeah, I drank a whole bottle of red line today, and it's not doing the trick because I've been up since 6:30 in the morning, 6:45, and it's like 2:31 in the morning following day. And I haven't had a nap all day, so I'm kind of bushed. So the cops kind of catch on to Mama Waldy because the lieutenant sees the vampire at the morgue, and they kill the vampire by first holding a cross and then opening the blinds to reveal the sunlight. She doesn't get baked like somebody else later on. I don't want to spoil the ending, but she just kind of falls to the ground. She's presumed exterminated, kind of off camera, I guess. They didn't really spend a lot in the special effects department for this one. So King of Cartoons, his face turns, gets all this hirsute like hair all over his face, on his eyebrows and on his cheeks. Whenever he turns into vampire, and he's got the fangs going on. And he's got this white face, kind of. Anyways, pretty good flick. It's about the same as the sequel. I'm giving it 4 out of 5 stars. I know it's it kind of kicked off the whole blaxploitation genre of the 70s, but yeah, pretty cool flick. It wasn't that great. It was kind of slow in parts, much like the sequel. So I'd say it's about the same as the sequel. It's 1 hour 33 minutes, rated PG, 1972. So next movie that I'll be watching is Red Dawn remake, which I'm not looking forward to. It got bad reviews, but dang, that thing drives me nuts. How am I going to fall asleep with that thing going off every 2 minutes? It's like an alarm clock. Anyways, guess I'll have enough money from that overtime to take my son to Academy of Sciences and San Francisco Zoo on Thanksgiving weekend. And I don't know. I guess I'll keep searching for that coveted 30-something-year-old Chinese gal. I don't know who else is out there. Really having a tough time, but I'll keep trying. I'm on like 4 dating websites. The Plenty of Fish is kind of lame, because when you filter out the kind of women you want, it only gives you like 20, and then there are no new ones that are like that. So that one kind of sucks. Happen was the transsexual. I think she was looking for a sugar daddy because she didn't know my profession. So she said she had a crush on me until she asked me what I did. Which kind of not surprising. 25-year-old has a crush on a 47-year-old. Plenty of Fish had that one transsexual who was like in her mid-30s. And couldn't figure out her phone number. And had to work late, kept me out of trouble anyway. So Tinder and is it Coffee Meets Bagel? Can't get anything on there. Nobody even responds on there. Not even transsexuals. Or maybe they don't have transsexuals on those 2 websites. But anyways, it's all par for the course. Online dating. It's not fun. And anyways, that's about it. Blacula. Not a great flick. Can't say either. Recommend it. But if you're into blaxploitation and horrors, you probably like this movie somewhat, as I did. Yeah, I'm not gonna watch Red Dawn until I wake up from my little nap. Anyways, I'll let you go. This video is dragging on too long. I'm dead tired. I want to drop this Blacula disc off in the mailbox real quick, and then I'll see if I can crash for a couple minutes. That's the end of my review. Laters.